All right, you're here with DJ Viceroy right here on UORadio.com, and that was the Zelda Essential Links. I hope you guys enjoyed a little remix from Zelda. I just want to quickly start out by saying thank you for all tuning in and everything. Today's going to be an unusual talk show, I must go ahead and say, because we're going to be having some special guests, which is going to be kind of making things a little bit unusual for our talk shows, because normally on the talk show we talk about, Ultima Online and a few other things, and that's all we talk about. But today we're going to be actually having guests from Japan, one who can only speak one who can only speak Japanese, and the other one who can speak English and Japanese from Scotland. So it's definitely going to be an unusual show. It's going to be definitely interesting for to have one translate it and sit there and listen to what's being said and not know what they're actually saying. But we can only hope that it all goes well. And we do have three of our DJs here with us today. We have DJ Sakarrah, the famous DJ Sakarrah. Yes. So go ahead and say hello to everybody out there, Sakarrah.
Hi everyone. Not sure that I'm famous. I'm more like infamous, but for my biting people. But hi everyone.
Yeah, and there you have it, the infamous DJ Sakarrah. And so you'll have to pardon me today. I'm kind of like lightheaded, kind of a little scatterbrained today, so just bear with me if you're like, what is up with him? But anyhow, I also have with me here who is a new DJ here at UORadio from Atlantic. And and to add to that, by the way, Sakarrah is from Atlantic as well, and I forgot to mention that. I'm sorry, Sakarrah. So we have DJ Malik from Atlantic here with us today, who's a new DJ with us. Just joined us this week, as a matter of fact. So go ahead and say hello to everybody out there, Malik.
Hello, everyone. DJ Malik. Nice to be here.
Yep, it's good to have you here. It's definitely, if I'm not mistaken, this is your first time, but I know it's not the first time you probably tuned into one of our talk shows. Is that right?
I haven't missed one, not one yet.
Oh, okay, so you have a good idea how the talk shows work and everything. All right, well, let's go ahead and try to kill some time in the meantime while we're waiting for those special guests from Japan to get on over here and get on TeamSpeak with us and everything. So with that said, oh yeah, and let me mention we have DJ Kickin here, who's from Chesapeake, also plays on Europa. He is at AFK at the moment, so he'll be joining us here once he gets back. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. And first of all, so I'm just looking here at my papers, and like I said, I'm a little scatterbrained, so bear with me. And as you probably know, in the last 2 weeks or so, there's been some talk about the speculations about EA possibly selling Ultima Online. We all, of course, know that's not true or whatever. But I'm kind of curious as to whether or not did you guys actually believe maybe that was true for a while there, and were you like, oh yeah, that might actually be a good thing if they did sell Ultima Online, or was you like really skeptical and saying, nah, they'll never do it? I'm kind of curious as to what your thoughts are on that and everything, and I want to hear from the both of you guys as to what you thought about that when you read the U-Haul forums. And do you, Malik, read the U-Haul forums a lot? Starting with you, Malik.
I don't really read them a whole lot, but that kind of took me off guard, and I didn't really think they would sell it. I mean, they've already invested so much into it, as well as I think they're making quite a bit. At least they should be, especially with the 8th Age. What was that they did, the UO Gold or whatever here not long ago. I really think that was just something to scare people.
Yeah, just another one of those doomsayers and everything. And just one of those guys out there predicting the end of UO and everything, and all that good stuff, right?
Yeah. It was just kind of like someone trying to play. What's one of the prophets? I can't even think right now. if I were going to go out on a limb and say EA sold, I would really hope it would be to something like Sony or something like that. Honestly, not to just any small gaming thing. EA's been all right. I wasn't around, I guess, before EA got it. Not sure. I think Origin was on its own, maybe.
Well, to my understanding, the way it pretty much worked, and I think EA has always owned Origin. It was just like a subsidiary of EA. So there's a lot of speculations as to whether or not if Origin was ever one of its own, a company of its own for a while there or not. I think it was just a subsidiary for the most part of EA. Just owned by EA and all that. And as for, maybe EA selling off to another major corporation or something like that, if they was to ever do something like that or even consider something like that, I would hope they wouldn't sell off to something like, a company like Sony or something like that, because we all do already have an idea of what Sony's ideal for an online game, how it's supposed to work and all that, meaning it would be like a pure trammy, type game, in my opinion, if they were to sell off to Sony, and I think that's what direction Sony would take ultimately line. Not that EA already has pretty much taken it in that direction. I just think we'd just see a lot more of that and wouldn't really see too much of a realistic type game or any PvP aspects added to the game or improved on. I'm kind of curious as to what you think, Sakarrah.
Well, I highly doubt, beyond highly doubt actually, that they would ever sell Ultima Online. Not right now, because they clearly are making quite a bit of money right now. So it would be very dumb of them to be selling it. And as Malik was mentioning, they have been, selling all these new little thingies, pixel crack. Whether through the 8th Age, they had Ultima Gold before that, they had the 7th Anniversary, they came out with the Evil Decor items, and they were telling us, it was posted on Stratix, that we have till the 14th to buy the Evil Decor items, because after the 14th, they will be removed and were replaced by something else. So clearly they've seen that, okay, there is money to be made by selling pixels to these people, because we just buy anything, and they're just going to keep doing it. And so they're going to be introducing something else. It would be a very dumb move on their part to be selling right now. And EA has been investing quite a bit of money developing. I'm not sure that I agree with the direction they're taking with their development, because, in a way they're kind of saying, yeah, we're adding content, but I kind of have mixed feelings about that, and we're probably going to discuss it a little later in today's show. But, they are adding content in a way, but their content is really more item-based, and this is how they're milking the game right now, by just adding more items that people will want and people will buy, and making some of it accessible by buying the expansion, and the other part accessible only by buying those little packages like the Evil Decor items. So I really do not see them selling it. Now, if they were to sell it, would I want EA to sell the game? I would have to say no. As strange as it may sound, and I kind of agree with Malik here. No, actually, it was with you, Vice. If Sony was to buy it, I'm pretty sure I would not like the direction that they would take with it. Probably even less than the direction that EA is taking with it right now. They would turn it totally into a trammy game, and not that I have anything against Trammel, because, in many ways I'm a trammy myself, but I think Felucca is a really important part of what Ultima is. To me, it's pretty much, it's funny because I was talking to my brother earlier, and he plays Final Fantasy, and he's trying so hard to get me to play that game. And he's like, well, I don't know how you can still like Ultima, you know, you've been there, done that, you know, it's like, there's no challenge for you, especially as a PVMer. I'm like, yeah, but, you know, to me, Trammel is like grade school and high school, and then, you know, when you go to Felucca, that's when you get to college, you know? It's graduation day kind of thing, and, you know, I think it's an important part of the game, and if we were to have a new owner, like such as Sony, we would probably lose Felucca, or Felucca would get nerfed so much that it would no longer be the game that we love. And so I would like to keep it with EA. And I like the fact they have the money, they have been investing it in the game, but I'm afraid that in order for them to keep making more money the way they currently are right now, they're going to just keep on adding more and more items to the point where, I mean, it will create money for them, but, you know, after a while, it's just, they're also going to be losing people and just killing the game by making it more and more item-based.
Yeah. You know, and my whole take on that is, you know, when I first saw that post on U-Haul and everything, I had to ask myself, you know, whether or not this might even hold any truth or not. Because the reason I maybe, you know, maybe believed it to some extent, and this is why, because, you know, just with all the other online games in which Electronic Arts has managed, you know, for example, Motor Cities Online, Earth and Beyond, The Sims Online, all these other online games in which they managed, none of them has ever worked for them, to my knowledge. And the only game they've ever worked, that's ever worked for them, that's been an online game, which has been a success for them as a company, was Ultima Online. And so I was thinking maybe, just maybe, they've already decided, well, you know, maybe this isn't a market which we need to be in, and, you know, throw in the towel basically and just, you know, sell it off to somebody else while there's something still left to sell, in other words. And then go, because, you know, in my honest opinion, Electronic Arts does extremely well when it comes to console games and stuff like that. Single-player games and sports games. I think that's where EA's strength is, in sports games and console games. I don't think they really have as much of experience with MMOGs and stuff like that. I think it pretty much speaks for itself. Now, as far as selling items and everything, and, you know, and doing it on a constant and regular basis, yes, I think EA is going to have to move away from that and start taking some bold steps in the game and try to make it fresh or something like that. Otherwise, you know, like you said, you know, it's going to get stale over time, and everybody's going to see it as nothing more than just a, you know, milking the game. They're going to have to definitely take a bold move and improve on what is already being done. I mean, what's being done with the game. I mean, you can't just keep selling us items and everything. And as far as the evil decor items, I'm kind of curious as to whether or not they're going to come back later and do what they did with, you know, the green soulstone thing or the soulstone thing, and say, oh, well, we've decided to bring it back now, and I'm kind of curious, you know, as to whether or not you guys think they might bring the soulstone back later on. I mean, what do you think about this, Sakarrah?
Well, actually, there's a few things I want to comment on as far as this goes. As far as the soul stones, they will keep coming back because obviously there's a need for it. There's a demand for it, and it's just easy money. All the new players that come in, at one point, they're going to look at the vet members and go like, oh my god, you know, those soul stones are just way too cool. I wish I had one, but I can't because they no longer offer this product in the game. Do you really think EA is not gonna, you know, milk that one? Of course not. This is gonna come back for sure. So, you know, I see some people rushing to buy the blue soul stones. Guys, take a chill pill. There will be red soul stone by beginning of next year. There are going to be a yellow soul stone in the summer next year, and, you know, there's going to be, who knows, orange, violet, purple, or blaze soul stone, you know, for Christmas next year. It's not going to go away. It's going to keep coming back because it's one item they never should have put as part as they never should have put it as a promotional item. It should have been a recurring item that people could buy. And, either they're going to keep bringing it as promotional item, which I doubt they're going to keep doing, because after a while I think they're just going to put it on their website, like the 6-character slot and all the other power-ups that they're offering. So, this is just too much of a needed item for it not to be sold on a regular basis in the future. Now, as for what you were saying, with EA feeling like online game is not their thing, I do not believe that as a large gaming company, they can afford not to have an online game, because, a good part of the future of the game industry is part of online games. People want to play together with each other. Granted, you can do that, through console games to a certain extent, but it's not quite the same thing. And they have a good game in their hand right now. How good they're going to keep it, time will tell. But EA has Ultima Online has lasted for many years now, more than I think any other game out there, and it's not quite dying, even though there's all the doomsayers, that are always, oh my God, the end is upon us, and blah blah blah. EA is still going strong. UO is still going strong, and I do not see them let it go of it. Not now that they've found so many new ways to make money with it. I think they will probably start considering it the day they get to the point where they're not making as much money, where they only have to rely on subscriptions. But, they're looking at all these new little services and power-ups that they can offer, which all bring direct money into their pockets. They're not going to let that one go. I really do not foresee them dropping the game anytime soon.
Yeah. Well, like I said, that was the only reason I even thought, that EA might even possibly consider that, just based on their, past record and everything. And quickly, I want to let everybody know that DJ Kickin is back with us from Chesapeake and everything. Go ahead and say hello to everybody out there, Kickin.
Good afternoon, everybody. I had to run an errand, but I am back now listening in, seeing what we're talking about.
Yep. And but did you by any chance catch what we were saying about, basically the possibility of EA selling off Ultima Online? Because there was some speculation on the U-Haul forums for a while there, and I was kind of curious as to what your thoughts were on that speculation. We know it's not true, so, I was just kind of curious as to what your thoughts were on that, and whether or not you read it. Go ahead, Kickin.
I actually hadn't read it. I don't pay much attention to what goes on in U-Haul because it generally upsets me, but I totally agree with Sakarrah on this one. There is no chance that EA is going to let go of a cash cow like Ultima Online. All the things that they're putting into the game, personally, I'm one of the small-time users, and I have 4 accounts, and I'm just now getting to where I'm reducing that to 2, but every time an expansion comes out, I'm buying 4 copies of it. Every time something is cool and I have to have it, I have to have 4 copies of it, and there's just way too much money there. I don't see them just letting go of that. EA likes their money.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with you there and everything, which leads us to our next subject here and everything, which is going to be, how do you think the expansion is holding up to today, a month later? Now, before the show, me and Kickin and Sakarrah talked about it a little bit. I was like, hold on, y'all getting into something here that we can actually use for the talk show. So I want to go ahead and turn this one over to Sakarrah and ask you, Sakarrah, how do you think it's holding up today, a month later?
Well, it's really hard to say because personally, as a vet player, been there, done that, and fought most of the really, well, I've actually fought all the really toughest creatures in the game multiple times to the point where most of them are really easy once you know how to go about it. And The expansion was something fresh, like a new challenge, and I was really looking forward to it. And, I run a Champ Spawn guild, and so we're used to fighting mobs. We're used to, having it hard kind of thing. And the expansion was really challenging, especially the Peerless bosses at first. But, we're like, a month and a half into this, not even 2 months. And quite honestly, we're all pretty much blasé about it. It's more like, okay, yeah, this is easy. Most of the bosses, like personally, I can get the keys to any of the bosses by myself, solo, with my bard. And it's only, most of the bosses I can kill with only one other person. And so, once you've reached that point, you're like, what's the purpose of all of this? Like most people, I've spent like almost an entire week just doing those crafter quests over and over and over again till I got all the recipes I wanted, bought a few of the ones I couldn't get. The other quests, most of them are, you can only do one time. And so, I've gotten to the point where, okay, I've done all the quests already. And I've done most of the bosses so many times that there's absolutely no more challenge left to it, except, it taking forever to kill a boss because they just have so much HP. And there's nothing to really entice me into doing it again, except for getting ingredients, most of which I could buy because the prices have dropped so much already. So do I really want to go through all the headache and, possibly the insurance to kill those bosses if I could just buy the ingredients to craft the items I want? I have to say, we were not champ spawning at all for the past month and a half because everybody wanted to do the quests. And now it's the other way around. I'm having a hard time finding anybody that wants to do the bosses because they're like, they much rather go back to doing champ spawns. And I'm like, wow, we just got this expansion and we're already ready for the next one, so I think it's pretty bad.
Yeah, and I think DJ Kickin has something to comment on that. Go ahead, Kickin.
Well, actually, I agree with her a lot. A lot of the stuff a lot of people had gone through just about everything in the first month and a half, but then you have people like me that I haven't even started. All I've done as far as the ML expansion is turn one of my characters into an elf. I have been hunting Swoop and Miasma like crazy, and you're right, those are way too easy to kill, especially when you got 20 people doing it. But eventually, the people that said, well, I can just buy these items, don't you think everybody's going to get that opinion, and pretty much everybody's going to be doing whatever they were doing before, and you won't have those items, so you will have to go and do them again.
Yeah, and go ahead, Sakarrah.
Well, actually, no. I would not think that because, it was pretty much the same thing that happened with ingots at first. When Power Hour was introduced and everybody needed large amounts of ingots to be able to, to GM in just a few days with Power Hour, everyone and their brother went crazy about mining. And you had the people that were scripting, you had the people that went factions way, and everybody was like farming those faction vendors to be able to sell ingots. And that got old, and, people just moved on. Some people stopped because the prices dropped so much that some people just stopped. Like, I used to go and farm the faction vendors myself to get reagents and to get ingots. But the prices dropped so much that I was like, you know what, I'm just going to keep buying it. I'm just going to let these few people that basically make a career out of it continue to do that chore for me, and I'll just buy off them. And it's the same way you started getting people, like for Doom. You have everybody's gone to Doom at least a few times. Most of us got tired of it because, well, it just takes way too long before you actually get anything. So, people, you go there a few times, you get a couple of artifacts, and then you get tired of it, and you say, you know what, I'm just going to buy the artifact I want. I'm just going to go do something else that I like doing. and wait till I find the artifact that I want at a reasonable price, and I'll just buy it. And that's basically what's been happening with Doom. People just do that, and it's true of pretty much everything else. Remember the part of translocation? People started doing the end quest, and then they're like, this is boring. I don't want to be doing this. This is like newbie stuff. I'm going to let some try me do it, and I'll just go buy from them. And I foresee the same thing will happen, because I'm not going to be mining my ass off. There's no way in hell I'm going to be mining 24/7 to get those gems. I'm just going to buy them. And there's always going to be somebody that doesn't like to PVM or that doesn't like to PvP who wants to make an easy living, and that's going to be getting, those gems for me. The same way there's people that just like standard PVM that are going to be doing those bosses 24/7 and getting those ingredients for me.
Very good point that you make up there, and quickly, just for the record, I've been to Doom twice, and after those 2 times, I made up my mind I was never going back. And now Champs, on the other hand, I've never been into Champs, not once. So if it's anything that to do with Champs, I have absolutely no clue how does that work. But I do know a little bit about Champs, that pretty much on every shard you always have one guild pretty much controlling the Champs, or you have these large guilds that control the champ spawns. Now, I guess it's pretty much the same way with Dooms to this day. You have a few people that pretty much control the Doom spawn and all that good stuff. I could be wrong on that, but that's my guess how he is today. Go ahead, Kickin.
Well, I agree totally. With Doom, I went just about every day, and some people call me crazy because I am like super trammy, but I did go to Doom at one period I was going for about 10 hours a day, and there are like 3 major guilds that go there, but once you get recognized as a regular there, everything gets a lot easier because people will heal you, you heal them. It just gets a lot easier, but I was getting about 1 artifact a day for a while. And then all of a sudden it just stopped, and I went through 2 months without getting a single artifact, and that's when, like Sakarrah said, I just decided, you know what, this isn't worth it to me. I can't take any of my loot with me, so I'm just going to buy what I need. And that's exactly what I did. But I think eventually, like with ingots, Sakarrah brought up ingots again. Most of the places that you find in Luna now that have bulk ingots, there is no way one character actually sitting at a computer can come up with that many ingots on a regular basis. Something is going on there, and when EA gets off their butt and actually decides to put a stop to that something, which I'm not going to mention, then everybody's going to have to go, things are going to get a lot harder to get.
And, and that's a very good point that you bring up there, because I would actually like to see EA to crack down on that kind of activity, because if they was to crack down on that activity, it would actually make those resources harder to get, and thus drive up the prices and everything, and create more of a demand. So me personally, being, a guy that's sitting on a few 100,000 of each color ingot, in which I bought over prior, to all this new stuff coming out, I mean, I've had this stuff back from 2003 that I'm still sitting on because I can't get my money back out of it. I used to go out and hire legitimate miners that actually went and worked their butts off, and I paid them a pretty good amount. And that's when ingots was going for like 20 gold per and stuff like that. Stuff like that. Nowadays, you can find iron ingots for about 8 gold per and stuff like that, and there's no way I can even get my money back. I either have to use the ingots myself or wait around until, the market changes again. And the only way the market's ever going to shift again is if EA, like you said, get off their butt and crack down on that kind of activity. And I think Mr. Tact alluded to something maybe like a punk buster, which cracks down on that kind of activity or something like that. I do hope they introduce something like that, like a punk buster, which is basically basically it's kind of like a software built into the game that detects any programs that are running in the background that give you an unfair advantage. And so it would basically detect scripts and stuff like that running on your computer and stuff like that, and basically either punt you off the game, basically disconnect you from the game, or it would either get your account banned. That would be my guess as to what Mr. Tack would do if he was to introduce a pump buster into the game. But getting back to what you guys were talking about, go ahead, Sakarrah.
Yeah, see, that's the thing, though. For sure, there's a lot of people that do use very illegal methods of gathering that much resources. But, you know, there's still ways to gather a lot of those resources in a very, very legal fashion. Some people just like it. Some people just have fun going around mining and mining and mining. I remember in my early days, you know, way before Power Hour, I would spend days doing nothing but mining for hours on end, and I had fun doing it. Today I'm like, how did I manage to do this? This was ridiculous, but I used to enjoy it. I've just moved to a different level of the game, I guess, but, you know, to each his own. And I think you will still continue to get a massive influx of resources, even if you just look at the ingredients right now. There is no way to script that, or, you know, to just whatever, use any funky methods to obtain them. And I've done all the bosses myself, naturally, in a very legit way. And especially when you get to the point where, in my case, I'm able to do the bosses with only one other person, you always get 9 ingredients per boss. Now, when there's only 2 of you doing it, we're talking about 4 ingredients each. It piles up really quickly. So I could be selling fairly important amounts of those ingredients if I wanted to. It's just possible. And the more, and, you know, with the talks that they were having about having more than one instance dungeon to take care of all the lineups at the altar or at the key tables, you know, if that happens, then you're going to end up having even more resources brought into the game, because a lot more people are going to be doing them at the same time. So I can see the market getting flooded really quickly.
Yeah, and just to quickly let you guys know, after everybody gets their last comment in, we're going to invite our special guests up in here. It looks like they're down in the bottom channel there, and so we're going to be bringing them up here any minute. And so go ahead, Kickin.
I agree. I just think once everybody gets their fill of this, and there's going to be a few regular players that do it just like everybody else is doing. Everybody's doing it now. I can't make any money doing anything right now in my normal businesses because there are so many people doing it. But eventually that will drop off, and there's going to be the regular people like me that every time a new expansion comes out, I find a few things that I really like to do, and I stick with those things until the next expansion. And the last time it was the minor artifacts, the Tucano artifacts and the regular minor artifacts, and I made many, many, many millions doing that until ML came out, and now I've got to figure out what to do next.
Yep, and thank you for that, DJ Kickin. And as you probably very well know, we got our special guests up here with us now. And before we introduce them and everything, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Malik. Go ahead, Malik.
I agree with both of them to an extent. I mean, for people that have the gold to go buy these items, they're not going to keep doing the bosses, the quests. But unfortunately for Emma and I, we like to spend out of our means, so we end up having to do this stuff quite often. Emma, she mines like crazy. I do the fishing, but mainly it's for our own needs, because, you know, if we could buy them, we would. Since we can't buy them, we use our resources as we get them, as fast as we get them, and we don't have the opportunity really to sell them because of that. So there are a lot of players out there that take all of this at different angles.
Yeah, very good point there and everything. And so with that said, I want to go ahead and introduce our special guests here from us, with us here today from Japan and everything. I first to introduce our translator here, Turin. I think that's how you say it. He is from, if I'm not mistaken, he's originally from Scotland, but resides in Japan today and can speak both Japanese and English, and he's going to be our translator today. And we also have with us here today Four from Japan, who, to my knowledge, can only speak Japanese. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and introduce Turin. Go ahead and say hello to everybody out there, Turin. You there, buddy?
Yeah, hi there. Good morning from Japan.
Good morning to you. And what time is it in Japan at this moment in time? 7 a.m. or is that right? 7 a.m.
Yes, it just hit 7 a.m. right now, and we're, I believe, Four and I are both sitting here yawning.
All right. Well, it's always a pleasure to have you guys here with us and everything. If you care to go ahead and translate and have him say hello for us, that would be great.
Okay. Four, どうぞ挨拶しましょう。
はい、私が4です。Hello.
Hello, Four. It's great to have you here and everything. So let's go ahead and get started with some questions from the English community, and we're just going to play and see how this goes and see how this works out. So go if you can care to translate that for me.
Okay. For 歓迎、今バイスロイが歓迎の言葉を言って、これから質問を聞きますということです。
あ、わかりました。質問の方どうぞお願いします。
Okay, he says, go ahead.
All right, we got a few questions in which we're going to be asking here from the DJs and from the people in our IRC room this afternoon who's listening in from the American side and European side. So, if you got any questions for the Japanese community, you want to learn more about the Japanese community or anything like that, I'm sure these are the perfect people to be asking those questions too, as they do play on the Japanese shards. And just to quickly give you an idea about these people, Four and Turin, they run a internet radio station for the Japanese side of things. And if I remember correctly, Four broadcasted the UO town hall meeting for Tokyo, Japan. And so, if you got any questions about, the UO town hall meeting in Tokyo, Japan, or you have any questions about their internet radio station, or you have any questions about the Japanese community, please feel free to ask your question over here in the IRC chat room, and we'll get over here to these people over here and have it translated to them, and I'm sure we'll have a response. Go ahead, Turin.
Okay, I'll just translate what you just said. 今ちょっと省略しますが、今アメリカとかヨーロッパのコミュニティから質問を受けて私たちに聞きます。そして日本のコミュニティについて何か質問があればみんなが聞いてくるみたいです。
あ、わかりました。じゃあそれで進めてください。
Okay, so let's go.
All right, first question is I actually have a question for you guys, and while I'm asking these questions, the rest of you DJs try to figure out what kind of questions you might have for them. And I'll start off with the first question. The first question being, how did the Tokyo UO Town Hall meeting go for you? And did you have a great time there? And whether or not you got to meet with Binky and some of the other developers, and how did that go? Can you maybe tell us how that was for you?
Okay, 最初の質問は UO の東京タウンホールミーティングはどうでしたか？ビンキとか他の開発者のメンバーと会いましたか？楽しみましたか？
そうですね。かなり楽しかったですね。まずもう、ビンキがとにかく声が大きくてですね、もう、手のタトゥーもすごかったし、他の開発者の方とも、少しだけお話できたんですけどね、非常に、熱心な方が多くて、いろいろ楽しいお話ができたと思います。
So he was just saying that they had a lot of fun, and his impressions of the developers were that Benki had a very loud voice, and I think they were all very impressed with his tattoo. Tattoos aren't very common in Japan, so they were all very impressed with that. And they talked, they're having the opportunity to talk to the other developers and ask some questions they really wanted to ask was a very good experience.
Yeah, well, that's very good news and everything. And about the loud voice, yes, Binky is a very loud person. I bet all the people in the room probably went running out of the room, right?
Sorry, what did you say?
I bet everybody in the room just went running out of the room whenever he came in there screaming and with his loud voice and everything, right?
Okay, I gotcha. はい、ビンキはすごくうるさい方なんですねという感じで、そしてビンキが部屋に入ればもう声がでかくてみんなが怖いかなというふうに言ってます。
確かにビンキの声はすごく大きかったです。会場の、音を調整している人が、大きくなりすぎないように調整するのに結構大変でした。で、我々の放送でも、ビンキの声を流すと音が割れるんで、調整するのがかなり大変でした。
Yeah, actually, when they were broadcasting Binky's voice, the guy had warned them, this guy has a very loud voice, so you better make sure to adjust your equipment properly. But then when it came to actually broadcasting, they actually had a big problem with him at the start. And if you listen to the broadcast from their site, you can hear that as soon as Binky comes on, it's like, ah!
Yeah, we noticed that, or at least I did. And just for everybody out there who doesn't know already, you can pretty much go to our website, UORadio.com, and download the Tokyo Yo Town Hall meeting recording. And if you listen to it, it's in both English and Japanese. And so if you listen to it, you can hear some of the questions in which were asked at the Yo Town Hall meeting in Tokyo, Japan. And so, I'm curious is whether or not any of you other DJs in here have any questions for him. Go ahead and translate. Okay, Sakarrah, go ahead.
I actually do have a question, and it's because I read, obviously, the UOL on Stratix, and I see on a regular basis all the complaints that people have regarding things they would like to have changed and this and that. And most of it is a lot of complaints about PvP and stealth archers and so on and so forth. I would like to know, on the Japanese shards, what seems to be the one or various points that your community is not happy with that you would like to see changed in the game?
Okay, I'll just translate that for you. DJ Sakarrah からの質問でした。そして、いつもストラティックス UOSS を読んでて、一番なんかみんなの文句とか、最近はアーチェリーのことですけど、みんななんか文句を書きますね。そこで、日本のシャードでは一番、それともそれぞれの、今みんなが言ってる文句って何でしょうか？
日本のシャードの文句、たくさんあるんですけどね、まずはバグの修正をとにかくしてくれというのもありますし、あとは、対人のバランス調整とか、ですかね。で、最近はちょっとその文句よりは新しい、今度のモンデイレガシーズで入った新クエストの方で、いろいろ、みんな苦労してるようで、その辺の文句よりは、楽しんでる、という方の話題の方が多いですね、今は。
So basically he said that it sounds very similar to Strikes, things like fix the bugs and balance PvP. But he also said that recently there's been a lot of stuff about new quests, and since Mondane's Legacy came out, there's been a lot of stuff about just kind of having fun as well as all the usual fix the bugs and balance PvP stuff.
All right. And Go ahead, Malik. Go ahead and ask you a question.
All right. I just had a question about the graphics. I know a lot of people have been giving suggestions, etc., about how to improve the graphics. Some people say go all the way with 3D or 2D. I was just curious, what their thoughts on what they should do maybe in the future with our graphics.
OK。今のはグラフィックの質問ですね。最近たくさんのグラフィックを良くする、クライアントを良くすることでもあるし、そういう話が最近たくさんがありまして、2D とか 3D の話で、これからどういうふうにグラフィックを良くすればいいでしょうかとか、そういう意見はありますか？
そうですね、グラフィックに関して、2D も 3D もなんですけど、昔の、ドット画ですかね、最近のCG を使ったと言ったらいいんですかね、ちょっと変わった画像が多いですけど、一番代表的なのは今回のクーシーですかね、ちょこっとテカテカっと光ってたりするんですけど、ああいう画像はみんな好んでないですね。好んでない方が多いですね。昔のドット画を好む方が多いので、その辺を中心に、改善してほしいという声は時々聞きますね。あと私個人的な話だと、3D はもっとリネージュ2とか、ああいった感じの 3D に変えたらどうかなとは思いますね。
So basically for saying that the old graphics, this kind of one, you can see that the old graphics are kind of, I don't know, pixelated, but the new graphics look kind of much more CG. So, for example, he mentioned the Kushi is sparkly, and you often hear complaints about the new graphics from the Japanese shards. But he also said, from a personal point of view, he'd like them to remake it in completely 3D.
All right, thank you. Go ahead, Sakarrah.
My next question is regarding Doom. I think most players from North American shards have heard about how you guys do the Doom Gauntlet. And I've never witnessed it myself, but I heard about how you guys really work. Everybody works just as a team, and you can basically kill everything in about 10 minutes. I think you go around all the rooms in about 10 or 15 minutes, whereas it's a lot longer on the North American shards. And I'm a little curious, how do you get everybody to just work like that together? Whereas everybody seem to be fighting with each other, to see who's going to get more loot, whereas it would be more logical for everybody to work together, because clearly it works so well for you guys. And the second question of that question would be, now with the new expansion and with all the Lich Lords casting necro spells and everything, do you guys manage to still do the gauntlet as quickly, or as it toned things down?
Okay, let's see. 今回は Doom の質問で2つの質問がありました。最初はUOSS で結構 Doom の噂があります。それはアジアのシャードでは Doom がすごくすごく早くみんなができてる。それはというのはみんなが一緒にグループとしてグループ行動で Doom をやり尽くすということです。それで10分か15分で一回りができるということ。それは本当かどうか私はちょっと Doom に行けないからちょっと話がわからないんですけど、それはどうやってできますか？それは本当ですか？というふうに聞きました。そして2つ目の質問は、そこでアメリカのシャールではみんながお互いに競争してて、 そんなに協力しないからもっともっと遅いというわけでした。で、2つ目の方ですけど、最近そのネクロの変わったことがありましたね。そして今ライチロードとかがネクロの魔法を使ったりしていますね。それでドゥームが遅くなったんですけど、日本のシャードはどうなってますかの2つの質問でした。
あ、すみません。2つ目の質問なんですけど、もう1個お願いできます？ネクロ魔法のなんですかね。
なんか最近魔物がネクロの魔法を使い始めたという感じが、それが聞きましたが、私はまたドゥームに行けないからちょっとわからないんですけど、どうしたんですか？
私もあまりわからないんですけど、聞いた話によると、リッチがネクロの魔法とか使うようになって、とにかく以前に比べたら強くなったという話はちょこちょこ聞いてますね。リッチロードなんてありえないぐらい強いというのは聞いてます。で、あと、ドゥームの方なんですが、私も一時あって、最近はちょっと行ってないんですけど、ML 入る以前の仕様でしたら、確かに、15分ぐらいで倒してましたね。特にみんな団結してるってわけじゃないんですけど、わけじゃなくて、みんなアイテムが欲しいんで、とにかく、それならもうみんなで集中して倒そうという感じですね。別に、バグとかチートツール使ってるわけじゃなくて、普通にみんなで寄ってたかってボコボコ殴ってるから、15分ぐらいで1回転できるということで、これは、本当の話です。
So basically, he's saying that as far as he knows, it's true, and they can do it in about 15 minutes. But it's not that everyone is actually working together as one team, so much as everyone's really, really eager to get their artifact. So everyone just concentrates on the job at hand and works away at it. So his boko boko was a sound for going fast. So like they all just go as fast as they can. And regarding the Lights, he says he hasn't actually been there himself, but he's heard that it's a lot stronger. So I'm afraid neither of us have been to Doom since the expansion came out, so we can't really help you there.
Ah, okay. Well, let me ask you this. Do you guys have any questions for the American side? You know, like any questions in which you guys are curious about the Americans and maybe the Europeans? You know, how did the Europeans play their shards? How did the Americans play their shard? Is there anything you want to know about that?
Okay, I'll just translate for you. 今度はフォーさんが何か質問がありますか？例えばアメリカのシャールではヨーロッパのシャールではどういうふうにやっていますか？
そうですね。事前にちょっといろいろね、他の人からも質問聞いてみようか思ったんですけど、なんか特にはあんまなかったんですよね。なんだろう。今、じゃあ逆に、そうですね、アメリカの方の、プレイヤーの方ではどういう、話が話題となってるんでしょうかね。
Okay, so Forrest just asking, what kind of issues are really, really popular or really unpopular at the moment among the American shards?
That really does vary. It depends on the play style. I would say my biggest complaint is scripting. That would be my biggest complaint. Sakarrah, what's your biggest complaint?
Well, I guess there would be a few, but the complaints I hear the most are scripters, PvP balance that needs to be addressed, especially in as far as archers are concerned. The graphics, obviously. What else? I believe there was, the lag, the never-ending lag. I would have to say those are probably the four most common complaints. Personally, as far as I'm concerned, my biggest complaint, beside archers, because I totally hate archers currently, it would be the lack of content. even though it's been improved with ML, with the quest and everything, I still don't think the quests are done quite the way I had hoped they would be. I think they're just like too predictable and too quick to complete. I would like quests that are a lot more in depth than the ones we have right now.
Okay. And let me get a few others. Just basically, translate the key points. Archery, scripting, and the other ones. Let's see. Kickin, what's your biggest complaint?
Vice, if maybe it would be better if you let him translate first, or he might end up like having too much to remember to translate.
Okay, yeah. Whatever works best. Go ahead, Jer.
Yeah, that would really help me out. Thank you very much. 今、バイスロイから聞いたのは、スクリプティングだから、フォーさん、スクリプティングわかりますか？
スクリプティングですか？ちょっとわからないですけど。
例えば、UO じゃないプログラムを使って、UO のいろいろダメなことをするというわけですけど、ちょっと日本語でどういうふうに言えばいいかちょっとわからないんですけど、
フラッシュとか、ああいうのを使って、ウルトラの中の、一部の、ゲームと言ったらいいんでしょうかね。あれを再現しているような感じのことですかね。
例えば、早く魔物から物を取るときとか、なんか自動的に鉱山に行ったり、物を取るとか、そういう悪いことなんですけど。
チートツールってことかな。それやったら、そうですね。どっかでそういうソフトを配布してたりしてたんで、結構使ってる方いてると思いますよ。
はい。やっぱりカタカナ英語でチートツールと言えばよかったですね。それがバイスロイの一番の、やっぱり今の話題ですね。そして、いろいろありますか？サッカラが結構いましたね。サッカラが言ったのは、やっぱりそのチートツールとか、なんだっけ、PVP だから、キャラクターとキャラクターのバトルの、バランスが悪いとか、そしてそのアーチェリーのことですね。そしてグラフィックのこと、あとはいつものラグのことですけど、そして個人的には言ったのは、自分が今アーチェリーがすごく嫌いになってて、だけど一番なのは最近新しいやることがなんか少ない。クエストがモンデインズレガシーでまた始まったんだけど、そのクエストは深くないということでちょっと嫌いでした。
なるほどね。大体、同じような話題で盛り上がってると盛り上がってますけどね。日本人的にはああいう、クエストやらレシピとかああいうのが好きな方が多いようなんで、おおむね今回のモンデインレガシーズは、好評といった感じですね。あと、チートツールの問題に関しては結構PVP とかでは、なんか PK ギルドがみんな使ってるんじゃないかという感じで、バランスは結構崩れてるっぽいんですかね。それで結構文句とかは出てますね。はい、そんな感じでしょうか。
So far, basically saying that yes, the same, basically pretty much the exact same issues are all coming up in the Japanese community, and especially in the scripting tools, with all of the big guilds and stuff seem to be using some kind of tools and kind of the same as the American shards.
All right. Question. Is there a bunch of players, let me quote this real quick. Lido asks if there's a lot of player run events on the Japanese shards.
OK? 日本のシャードではたくさんのイベントがありますか？ でイベントっていうのは GM とかがやることじゃなくて、プレイヤーが担当するイベント、たくさんありますか？
かなりたくさんあると思います。私が把握してないのもかなりありますからね。例えば、今度11月では、大和シャードで、大和文化祭。これはこのまま文化祭って訳せるんかな。そういうイベントがありまして、そうですね、同じ時間帯に複数の箇所でイベントが、プレイヤーの皆さんがイベントをやるって形のイベントですね。ちょっと変な日本語やな。とにかく数は多いです。あと、日本では多いのが、プレイヤー酒場ですね。これが、たくさんあるのが特徴じゃないかと思います。
Yes, he says that there are a lot of events going on in Japan, and often they're going on at the same time. You know, like at 11 o'clock at night or 10 o'clock at night, there'll be events on a lot of different shards, so it's difficult to go to them all and stuff. So, and hold on a second. フォーさん、今最後のことはなんて言いましたか？
最後はプレイヤー酒場ですかね。これが多いと言いました、日本では。
プレイヤー酒場ですか？
そう、酒場です、はい。夜になるとプレイヤーがみんな寄ってきて、ざわざわお話ししたりするんですかね。特定の、プレイヤーのお店で。それがプレイヤー酒場ですかね。
はい、わかりました。So the last thing he said is that there's also a lot of player bars going on. Like, player pubs, I guess. Taverns.
All right. Yeah. And a follow-up question about events and stuff. Do y'all have event moderators or seers? And if so, which one do y'all have? Do you call them seers or do you call them event moderators on the Japanese shards?
OK、次の質問は、イベントに関しては、公式のイベントでは、EM というイベントモデレーターがありますか？それともシアがありますか？
日本の場合は、そうですね、シアの方が多いんじゃないですかね。突発的なちっちゃいミニイベントがとにかく多いですね。で、それ以外は、アメリカでやってるような感じの、イベントもやってるのかな。どっちかと私が遭遇するのはちっちゃい、シアがやってるようなちっちゃいイベントには遭遇しますね。大きなイベントあんま見ないですけど。
そうですね。あと、日本のシャードでは、コンパニオンもやっぱりいますね。
そうですね。コンパニオンのいますね。はい。
So basically he's saying that it tends to be seers, and the events on Japanese shards are often, there's a lot of sort of mini events, small events going on. But also, I was pointing out that the Japanese shards still have companions too, and the companions are responsible for a lot of very nice little events, especially aimed at the newbies and young players.
Oh, okay. Because and quickly let them know that we do not have seers, we do not have companions anymore on the American and European shards,
okay.
Due to a legal lawsuit.
アメリカではシアもコンパニオンもいないから、そういうこと、イベントモデレーターしかいないというわけですね、アメリカでは。
そうですね。だからアメリカの方ではちっちゃなミニイベントってあまり見かけないですよね。
Yeah, so it's a shame because it means that there aren't really that many small, like many events in American charts, at least sort of semi-official ones, at any rate.
Okay, and was he aware that the American shards and the European shards didn't have seers, or was he under the impression that they did?
フォーさんはアメリカのシャードにはシアがいると思いましたか？
いや、アメリカのシャードでそういう日本のような小さいイベント見たことがないので、いないと思ってました。ただし、アイテムをね、もらえたりするような大きなイベントはやってるのかな。どこのシャドウか忘れましたけど、ルナでなんか強い、ボスモンスターが湧いてたり、そういうのを見たことあるんで、日本のイベントよりは、大規模な、なんかしかもアイテムもらえるような感じの、ことが多いなとは思いましたね。
He thought that America didn't have, or the Western Shards didn't have any seers, and because he's only really ever heard of the kind of the really big events happening on the Western Shards and getting where you get lots of the same item being given out and stuff like that.
Okay. Hey, Sakarrah, go ahead and ask your question.
My question is kind of in the same line with what you guys were just discussing, and it's regarding all these, actually the American players that come to your shard. I remember when X-sharding first began, the development team expressed their concern. They kind of, actually not so much concern, but they kind of gave us a warning to please behave when we went to the Japanese shard, as we have such different cultures, and they were kind of afraid that we would misbehave and offend you guys when visiting. And I kind of wonder, you know, how are we perceived, generally speaking, when we do visit the Japanese shards? And, well, actually, you can answer that one, and I'm going to have another question after that.
Okay. 今の質問は、そのクロスシャードができているから、そのシャード移動することができてから、アメリカのプレイヤーが日本のシャードに来ることも多くなりましたね。そこで、その移動することができたときに、開発者のメンバーからちょっと注意が出てきました。その注意は、海外のシャードに行くときに、あんまり悪いことしないでくださいというふうに注意されました。そこで、日本のシャードでは、アメリカ人のプレイヤーはどういうふうに考えられてますか？
アメリカ人のプレイヤーあまり見ないんですよね。どちらかというと日本で見かける外国人って言ったらアジアの香港の方とかが多くて、みんな商売やってますね。レアを日本に持ち込んで販売したりとか、そういう方はちょこ見ますけど、アメリカの方っていうのはあんまり見ないのかな。ひょっとしたら私だけが見てないのかもしれませんけどね。
はい、そうですね。実は私は、ちょっとは会いまして、ある人が北東にやってきて、その時、私はその人をとても手伝ったんだけど、すごくいい感じの人だったんですけど、今、それ教えますね、英語で。
はい、そうです。教えてください。一つだけ思い出しました。私も見たのも、結構いい方でしたね。家とか、探してたんで、確かなんか空き地を紹介した記憶があります。あまりだから悪い人は来ないんですかね、アメリカからは。
So basically, we were just talking about what you were just asking, and Four was saying he's not really seen that many American players. So he's seen a lot of players from Hong Kong especially, and sometimes from Singapore. And the players from Hong Kong who come to the Japanese shards tend to be people who are buying and selling rares mostly. And I have to say this is true from my experience as well. I've met quite a lot of Hong Kong players, and all of them seem to be into the market more than anything else. But we've also both met some American players since the cross-shard stuff all started up, and we both had a very positive experience in regards to meeting American players. On Four's side of things, he doesn't speak English, of course, but they managed to communicate, and the guy seemed to be a nice enough guy. On my side of things, of course, I speak English, so there's no problem there. But the guy who came across was a really nice guy, so we haven't really had any problems at all.
Okay.
Go ahead, Sakarrah.
Okay. And then my other question would then be, actually, it's a little unfortunate that you haven't had that many experience with the Americans, but it seems to be you seem to be having it with Koreans. But something that I have noticed a lot on Atlantic is that there are players that do go a lot to your shards, especially because you have so many seer events that we don't have, and a lot of them have rare items, and so a lot of Americans go to your shard just to basically take items that they can bring back to our shards, and I kind of wondered how you felt about that, if it bothers you in any way that people are coming to plunder resources from your shard so that they can go sell them elsewhere, because they've taken a lot of stuff away from your shard. I remember there was that event you had going, even though, I mean, anybody could get those items, but there was those T-shirts, We Made the Food or something like that, the ice white T-shirt that people were getting a lot, and things like that, just to take away from your shard to sell elsewhere. And is that affecting your shard? Because, like we talked earlier, you guys do them very, very quickly. And so you get a lot of artifacts, and I know people were buying artifacts for cheaper on your shard and selling them for a lot more on other shards. But by buying all the artifacts, like the ornament and whatever, for a cheaper price on your shard, buying them out all the time, doesn't it make the prices go up for you guys?
Okay, sorry to correct you there, Sakarrah, but it's regarding the Koreans. The Koreans generally don't speak Japanese, so they tend to stay away from the Japanese shards. But the Hong Kong players, even if they can't speak Japanese, they can communicate using Chinese characters a little bit. So it's mostly the players from Hong Kong that come over to Japanese shards.
Okay.
I'm going to translate your question now. 続いて同じような質問ですけど、アメリカのプレイヤーが日本のシャードに来るときにシアのイベントとかがたくさんありますので、アメリカのプレイヤーがそのイベントに来て日本からのレアとかレアアイテムとかを取りに来て、そして持って帰ることが最近多くなりましたね。そこで、その日本のシャードのユニークなアイテムを持ち帰りという感じでするのは、日本のシャードにはどういう影響があるでしょうか。そしてもう一つは、アーティファクトの話もありました。日本ではアーティファクトを多分アメリカのシャードよりも早く取れるかなという話があります。Doom の方がちょっと早くできるから。そこで日本のシャードにアーティファクトを買いに来る人がいますね。私も実は実際にそういう人と会ったことあります。その人たちが日本のアーティファクトを買ってまたアメリカのシャードに帰ってそこでもっと高く売るというわけですね。その影響はありますかというふうに今聞きました。
そうですね。まず、日本でのレアですね。日本では海外のシャードほど、イベントごとにアイテムを配りません。したがって、日本で、配られるものをみんながいくらでも手に入れれるものなので、海外に持ち出されてもさほど問題はありません。それとあとですね、ルームの、レアの話。こちらはですね、確かに日本の方でも結構、日本でいっぱい集めて向こう持ってって売る方が多いので、最近はね、アーティファクトの値段が落ちてるからあまり見ないんですけど、モンデイレガシーズが入る前は結構日本で、 募集して海外で、売りさばいてる貿易商みたいな方は結構見ましたけどね、最近はあまり見ないので、こちらもさほど影響とかいうのはないと思います。
Okay, so basically he's saying that regarding the events in Japan, there's not that many items given out at events on the Japanese charts actually. And when they're usually given out, the items tend to be given out to everyone. So like you mentioned the white t-shirt with "We Created the Food." That was very freely available for a certain time period. You could literally just take one character to a certain place and take it from there and come back with another character and do it again. So I mean, there was really no question of it being a super rare or anything. So regarding those sort of items, there's absolutely no problem at all, because I mean, no one really minds if someone comes and gets them and then takes them home. And the other thing is...
いいですか？もう一つで思い出したんですけど、日本よりですね、韓国のシャドウがですね、よくイベントやってまして、ここでレアアイテムを結構配ってるんですが、それを目当てに日本の方がたくさん押し寄せて、そのレアを日本に持ち込んで高くリサイクル、またはさらに海外に、持ってってさらに高く売るといったことはありますね。
はい、ありますよね。So the thing he just added on is, regarding artifacts, he reckons that the same thing is sort of going on the other way. Artifacts in Japan are not all really, I mean, they're not cheap, that's for sure, but they're not all really that much cheaper than the American shards. They weren't that much cheaper to start with. You know, it depends on the shard as well. For that, I think maybe just some artifacts are more common on some shards. But the prices have probably equaled out quite a lot between the shards now. So you don't see so many people coming to buy artifacts on the Japanese shards. And the last thing he said is that on the Korean shards, we've heard there are an awful lot of rare items given out during events and such, and the Japanese players also actually tend to go to the Korean shards and take their event items and go elsewhere and sell them for a lot of gold and whatever. So that sort of thing is also happening, but we can't really talk too much about that because, of course, we don't have much personal experience with the Korean shards.
All right, thank you. I have a question here, and it's a question I always ask everybody that we ever have on a show. And I'm just kind of curious as to how much the Japanese community knows about pre-UOR, and just how familiar is the Japanese community with pre-UOR, and do you think that the Japanese community would be highly interested in a pre-UOR shard?
Okay. 今回の質問はPre-UOR というのは UO レネソンスの前のサーバーの新しいシャードの話です。これはすごくアメリカのコミュニティでたくさんの人が作ってほしいことですね。そこでその Pre-UOR のシャード、フォーさんお分かりですか？
わかります。パブリッシュ16前のシャドウのことだと思うんですけどね。
はい、そうですね。そこで、日本のコミュニティというのは、フォーさんでも、自分のことでも答えてもいいと思いますが、どこまでこのことをしていますか？なんかたくさん話されていることですか？そして、どこまで興味を持ってますか？日本のコミュニティでも、フォーさんでも。
ですね、これに関しては結構興味ある方多いと思います。実際に、エミュサバイブかな、個人の方が、作られてるウルティマのサバですかね、パブリッシュ16での仕様の、こういったものがいくつかありますから、それがあるってことは、それだけ関心があることだと思います。それと私も、 久々にやってみたいなと思いますね。昔の仕様懐かしいですからね。やっぱ8年私もやってますんで、たまには昔の仕様でやりたいなと思うんで、ぜひ、導入してほしいと思います。
Okay, so basically he's saying that it is well known in Japan and in Japanese charts, and it's kind of, you know, regarding the name for it, it's usually referred to as pre-Pub 16 or something along those sort of lines, but it's basically the same thing, I think. You can correct me if I'm wrong. And personally speaking, he says he'd love to try it, and the reason is that, you know, after playing UO for 8 years, just for the sentimental value, he thinks it would be great if they would make a pre-Pub 16 shard and let us all kick out in sentimentality.
Yeah. I'm personally surprised that the Japanese community really knows much about the pre-UOR. I was kind of worried that maybe you guys wouldn't know about pre-UOR, and it's actually kind of it's a great relief to know that the Japanese community knows about pre-UOR. I guess the next question with regards to pre-UOR, is it as hot of a topic? You know, because Poor was asking earlier, what are some of the main arguments, what are some of the main hot topics for the American charts and the European charts, and pre-UOR is one of them. And yes, it is pre-published 16, yes. But I'm kind of curious, is it like a hot topic over there like it is over here for the Americans and the European charts?
Actually, if I can butt in for a second, it's actually it's not pre-Pub 16. Pub 16 was after UOR. Pre-UOR is basically before Trammel. Trammel already existed at published 16.
Okay, sorry.
But basically, it's not exactly the same thing, but it's the same idea in that it's about making an older shard, right?
Well, yeah, go ahead, Sakarrah.
Well, actually, it's more than that. It's basically returning to before Trammel ever existed. It's going back to when only Feluca existed and everybody played basically on the same facet. There was no Trammel, there was no Ilshanar, none of all of that. So in many ways, pre-UOR is a lot like Siege Perilous, but with the difference that you would not have item properties, and you would not have, all the new changes like that were introduced with all the various expansions, such as Age of Shadows and Samurai Empire and, Bushido and Power Scrolls and stuff like that. So it would really be going back to the roots of the game where you had one facet and the game was really skill-based and not item-based.
And let me elaborate on that a little bit. Siege Perilous for you guys, I think, is called Mugen, and also, without all these other facets, you also had a greater chance of running into other players. You also killed other players. You had murderers. You had what we called MPKers, which were the good guys, and the PKers, which were the bad guys and stuff like that. You had those kind of things. It was more of a realistic game back then than it is now. Now people can go to Trammel and not even have to worry about all that. Go ahead, Tur.
Okay, so I'll just translate what you just said. 今の話は pre-UOR っていうのは UO Renaissance の前だから Publish 16の前でもあるんだけど UO Renaissance というのは Trammel が存在する前のことですね。
存在する前の話だと、どうだろう。 存在する前は、あまりいい思い出がないですね、私個人的には。それこそアスカシャドウできた頃だと、アスカシャドウできた頃の方がアメリカ人多かったかな、今思い出してましたけど、よくね、アメリカ人のプレイヤーの方に、私が鉱山で採掘してたら PK されて、鉱石よく盗まれたりですね、そういうことをよくされました。あと、そうですね、夜、馬で走ってたら向こうから外人の PK がやってきて、お前はバカだとか言われて突然切り裂かれたり、そういうことをされましたね。だから、ルネッサンス以前のウルティマには、ウルティマの仕様を導入するのはどうかな。あまり私的には好きじゃないですね。
はい、私も賛成ですけど、日本のコミュニティではどういうふうに思われてますか？やっぱりPublish 16以前のシャーですか？そのトピック。
そうですね。ルネッサンスから16までの間が一番面白かったんじゃないですかね。派閥がとにかく面白かったのが16までだったと思うんで、だからルネッサンス、プレルネッサンスから16までの間のシャードを導入してもらったらちょうどいいんじゃないかと思います。
Okay, so basically what Ford's saying is, I told him everything he said about the difference between Publish 16 and pre-UOR, but as far as he's concerned, and I'm not entirely sure about as far as the Japanese community is concerned, but at least as far as Ford's concerned, and actually me too, but never mind, he's a little bit more interested in a post-Renaissance and pre-Publish 16 pre-shard. I mean, no, sorry, new shard. So the idea really is, he was saying he had kind of a lot of bad memories of being PK'd and so on before Renaissance came in, so it's not that sentimental a time for him. That's what he was saying.
Ah, okay. So, yeah. So, okay. So he does understand what pre-UOR is after all. Well, that's good. Go ahead, Sakarrah.
Alrighty, and just for the record, I agree with you. I kind of like post-UOR, but definitely it would have to be pre-Publish 16. I'm not crazy about what they did to the game after Publish 16, even though I would keep the new landmass, but that's another debate. The next question for you is actually from Malik, and it's regarding X-sharding guilds. I don't know if you guys have heard of a guild like EFL, the Empire of the Fallen Lords, who basically go from shard to shard and try to take over Felucca. They're PvP guilds. They try to take control of champ spawns and stuff like that. And just wondering what you guys think about that, if you guys have actually experienced something like this, as any foreign guilds come to your shard to try and take over, or have you guys considered doing that, going to different shards and try to take over Felucca?
次の質問ですけど、ギルドの話に移ります。ギルドですけど、例えば有名なギルドがあります。ESL というギルドで、このギルドはシャードからシャードまで移動して、そのシャードのフェルカをコントロールしようとして、そのボスのパワースクロールのところも全部コントロールしようとして、なんか外国のギルドがこういう風にアメリカのシャードでやってますが、日本のシャードではそういうギルドがシャードからシャードへ移動することとかありますか？
日本でもありますね。PK ギルドが丸々引っ越してきたりというのもありましたし、一時私のやってるアスカシャードでも、外国のギルドの人が、あれですかね、独占して、派閥ベンダーですかね、街で売ってる、あれが非常に高くなったりした時期ありましたから、日本でもそういったことは、たまにあるようです。
Yeah, he says that on the shard he plays on Asuka, the shard he plays, he's heard of that kind of thing happening, and the vendor prices all getting really high and that sort of thing. So yes, apparently it does happen.
But is it something you think you guys would consider doing, or have you heard of people from your own shard doing it, going to other shards?
Okay, I'm not entirely sure that either of us qualifies for the sort of level of power it would be required to do that, but I'll ask him the question. 今の質問は、私たちはフォアさんと私がそういうことをしてみたいとかと思ってますか？
そうですね。仲間がたくさんいるんだったら、やってみたいですね。
Yeah, Four says that if he had lots of friends, it sounds like it'd be quite fun.
All right. I got a question. Actually, I want to know if he has any other questions, because I know we've asked him a bunch of questions, and so I'd like to hear some questions from the Japanese community as to what you want to hear about the American and European shard.
Okay. フォーさんからの方は質問何か聞きたいですか？
そうですね。日本では、北斗シャードでですね、バシネットをかぶって裸で踊ったりするような方が結構いらっしゃるんですけど、アメリカのシャードではこういった方はいらっしゃるんでしょうか？
そうですね。それは私の出身の北斗シャードですね。He's just asking the shard I play on, Hokuto, has a kind of I don't know what you could call it, a custom of getting naked and dancing around in bassinets. It's kind of the Hokuto trademark. Sometimes, especially if Hokuto goes down, you can see people doing this on on Test Center. So he's just asking, is there any kind of custom like that for any of the American shards?
To answer your question, whenever our shard goes down, I think most people go to bed.
Actually, no, I would have to argue with that. When the shard goes down, everybody goes to Stratix and start flaming.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
that too.
But that was cute. Where do you guys go naked and dance?
Basically, when Hokuto goes down, everyone moves over to Test Center. I mean, goes down for like a while. If it goes down for like 20 minutes, half an hour, out of schedule, then people go over to Test Center and like, I don't know, anywhere like Haven or Luna or the time I remember seeing it was the Uber cows. When the Uber cows came out, there were a bunch of guys from my shard sitting there naked, dancing around in their bassinets.
Well, I got a question about that. Exactly what time of day does y'all shards go down? Because when the American shards go down, it's usually at 4 o'clock in the morning. Go ahead, Turin.
Sorry, the Japanese shards have shard maintenance at 8 o'clock a.m. for Japanese time. So like right now, from right now, the Japanese shards will be going down.
Okay.
Can I just translate your question there about the... Hold on, I'm kind of losing myself now because we took a while between translation.
No problem.
Sakarrah, do you want to just go ahead?
Actually, yeah, what I wanted to say was somebody in IRC just reminded me it's true that we do something when our shard goes down. Not everybody, it's not really a tradition, but it happens a lot on like American and European players do that a lot, but I think mostly American players. We do invade other shards, not necessarily the test shard. It can be any shard. He says, that was Manny, he said, Japanese shards, but in truth, we just go to any shard. We just pick one randomly, and we create characters named Bob or Fred. And I don't even recall what this whole Bob and Fred thing is about. I think it's just like a feud between Bobs and Freds, but we all create characters named like that. and we just start going crazy on whatever shard.
Okay, I've heard of that actually. I'll just translate that. アメリカのシャードではそういうシャードごとにはないみたいですけど、どっかアメリカのシャードが落ちたらみんなが別のシャードに行ってフレッドとかボブ、その2つの名前を使ってキャラクターを作ってまた、競争とか、バトルとかやっているそうです。
ああ、なるほど。日本でもありましたね。日本の場合は韓国のシャードに赤いローブを着ていって、抗議運動をするんですけど、で、韓国の現地の方と戦ったりしてたんですが、一時韓国の GM にね、捕まって投獄されたりした人も結構いましたね。はい、そんだけかな。あと、ちょっと一つ質問があったんですが、ちょっと思い出してないので、また思い出したら言います。はい。
あれ、赤いローブというのは GM のローブの話ですか？
はい。赤色のローブが何ですか？
今、韓国のシャードの赤いローブの話だってしたけど、どういう話ですか？すいません。
日本のシャードが落ちたときに、韓国のシャードでみんなが赤いローブを着て、抗議してたということですね。
わかりました。So he says, when the Japanese shards go down, another thing that sometimes people do is go over to the Korean shards, which of course are quite close, so we get a decent connection to there, and wear red robes.
Ah, very unusual. Very unusual. Ask him if he has any other questions.
あと、質問は何かありますか？
あとはそうですね、最後の方に、日本の方では結構今、次ですね、ウルティマで入れてほしい要素として、ベッドの上で寝るとか、地面に座る、しゃがむといった追加のモーションですね。こういった意見がタウンホールミーティングにも出てたんですけど、これアメリカの方ではどうなんでしょう、興味あることなんでしょうか。あと、それともう一つですね、私はカスタマイズハウジングが結構好きなんですが、地下室を導入したりとかですね、あとはもう既存の今ある砦とか、キャッスル、タワーといったクラシックタイプの、家がカスタマイズできるようになってほしいと思うんですが、その辺は皆さんどうなんでしょう、興味はありますか？
Okay, so he asked two questions. The first question was, what next? So, one of the things that came out at the Japanese Tokyo Town Hall meeting was a lot of people would like to see some new actions, like, for example, being able to sit or to kneel or to sleep on a bed and so on, or fall down. And they were asking for some actions to be added to the 2D client. And he's wondering what do you think about that, and if it's a popular idea among the American community. And the other question was regarding customizable houses. He says he's a big fan of customizing houses, and that's true of a lot of people on the Asian charts actually, also myself included. And he's asking about another thing that came up at the Tokyo Town Hall was adding basements to the customizable houses, or for the fort or the castle to become customizable at some point in the future. These are all things that he would really like to see being added. How about you?
Well, to answer your question, I think the question about the basements and everything was asked at the Washington D.C. UO Town Hall meeting towards the end of the recording. I think if you were to listen to that, you will hear that the question towards the end of the recording of the Washington UO Town Hall meeting. I think somebody did ask about the possibility of adding basements to a house. I can't remember exactly what Binky's response to that was. I think they said that it was an interesting idea and that it would be something they would consider or think about. and I think it would actually be received pretty quite well, some of these new things in which you're talking about. But there's just no great emphasis within the community. In other words, there's not a lot of people, making a big enough push for it in the American and the European community to probably warrant or even get the attention of Electronic Arts in this respects. So go ahead, Sakarrah.
Personally, I love customizing houses as well, especially because I organize in-game events, and a lot of them I actually customize the houses into puzzles and mazes and stuff like that. So anything that would help us, do even more creative things, customizing our houses, I'm 100% in favor of, and being able to have a basement would rock. So I would definitely be in favor of that, and I especially would want them to add a lot more of, a lot more items in the, not items so much, but a lot more walls, like different type of walls, like the dark walls, like you have in certain dungeons, to be able to place steps inside the house. But, like the smaller ones, like to create a pedestal and stuff like that, I would like to see them add a lot more things, because there's some of the houses that you can see right now in the game that are designed, the NPC houses, but that we cannot use some of the tiles that they have. And I would like to be able to use any of the existing house tiles to create my house, to be able to place traps inside the house as well, stuff like that. And just a little comment that I wanted to make. You guys have the most amazing decorations. Your community has been a really great inspiration for a lot of Americans, myself personally too. Some of your websites such as UO Cafeteria and Rosie Note are just awesome. I don't know where you guys get these ideas, but it's just amazing. There was a site, I don't remember what it was, but it was a website that was showing people how to recreate certain images on the roof. Like you can recreate a llama just using different tiles on your roof, and when people look on the radar, it looks like the exact same creature. It's really awesome.
Okay, so let's translate there. Before I translate all that, actually I would like to say absolutely yes to everything you just said. I'm sure that For and I, and in fact the entire Japanese community, will be with you 100% on basically everything you said, Sakarrah. So, For 今言ったのは、かなりありましたね。まずはバイスロイが言ったのは、ウォシントンのタウンホールミーティングではその同じ地下室の話があって、同じような答えがありました。つまり面白いアイディアですけど、できるかどうかは分かりませんというように答えが来ました。それは東急タウンホールと同じような話ですね。
そうですね。その部分は全く同じですね。
それでその話についてバイスロイが言ったのは、アメリカの方のUOSS の方にその話があんまりないから、家はなんかあんまりプレッシャーがかかってないという感じがしますというように言ってました。それはそうですね。私たち日本のコミュニティがあんまり何も言えないから、UOSS に地下室の話は見たことありませんね。
確かに英語がね、できる人少ないんで直接書き込めないんですけど、みんな英語できたらそういった意見じゃんじゃん出てくると思いますね。ただ日本では公式サイトの方でそういう意見を、まとめてですね、アメリカの開発チームの方に送ってるようなので、何らかの形ではそういう声は届いてるとは思うんですけどね。
そうですね。So just to go back to English just for a second, for just saying that the Japanese branch of EA does actually take suggestions from the Japanese message boards. I think the Japanese version of UO.com has an official message board, and the Japanese team I believe they take comments from that and sort of make a little digest. I think it's every week, and they send it off to EA. So there is some sort of feedback from the Japanese community. I'm going to go back to Japanese. サッカーのことですけど、サッカーが、カスタマイズの何かを導入することだったら、すごく本当に何でも興味がありますというように話しました。サッカーはカスタマイズのファンだそうです。そこで自分の家をパズルとか迷路にするのはなんか想像深いものにするのはすごく興味があってカスタマイズが大好きです。そこで新しいタイルとか新しいタイルの色とかその家の前の小さい階段を家の中に置けるようになるとかそういうような話そういうようなことをゲーム内に入れればいいなというふうに言ってました。そしてその NPC タウンのタイルもたくさんカスタマイズの方に使ってない NPC のタイルもありますのでそれもできるだけ全部使いたいというように話しました。で最後に言ったのは日本のシャードにはすごくサカラがサカラだけじゃないんですけどサカラとかアメリカのカスタマイズが好きな人たちが日本のシャードのすごいカスタマイズなところがすごいなんか日本のシャードのそこのところのファンになってます。すいません、ちょっと通訳がバラバラになって意味わかりましたか？
はい、大体わかります。日本でもね、カスタマイズ凝ってらっしゃる方かなりいますしね、アスカでも大きな迷路、本当の迷路ですね、テレポーターを使った迷路があるんですけど、そういうところがあって、一度時間があったら紹介してみたいですけどね。で、あと私もカスタマイズ大好きでして、セカラさんおっしゃる通り、NPC のタイル使ってないのたくさんあるんで、すべて導入してほしいですね。願わくば、カスタマイズハウスでL 字の形ですね。とかいろんな形の家ができてもいいんじゃないかと思うんで、もその辺はどんどん導入してほしいと思います。
Okay, so for just saying that on Asuka, his shard, there is a maze, a very big maze customizable house that is a big maze using teleporters and stuff. And if you have time sometime, Sakarrah, he would love to introduce you to that house.
Wow, the other thing I would love to see it, definitely.
Okay, and the other thing is that regarding the NPC tiles, he would absolutely love to see any and all of the NPC tiles added into the system. And also the L-shape, there's the L-shape house, so he's saying why not make that customizable, and in fact, why not allow for all sorts of shapes of customizable houses? And basically he's saying very much the same thing as you, which is that he would like to see more and more and more new additions made to the customizing system.
Okay, I got a question for you, and this has actually been a question I've been wondering about because I've spoken a little bit with the representative from the German community and everything, and I was kind of curious as to whether or not the Japanese community had a community manager of its own, or somebody that was acting community manager, or somebody that basically corresponds on the behalf of the Japanese community who's out there and actually communicates with the Japanese community. And who would that be? And what's y'all's level of interaction with EA Japan, in regards to communicating and stuff like that? I mean, is it very good, or does EA Japan not really talk to you guys too much, or what? What's your personal assessment of EA Japan?
Okay, so Viceroy がドイツのコミュニティ の代表と話したことある。でその時になんかコミュニティマネージャーのことを聞きました。それはドイツだけのコミュニティマネージャーという人がいて、日本ではどうなってますか？EA ジャパンでは日本のコミュニティマネージャーという方がいますか？そして誰ですか？あとはEA ジャパンとのコミュニケーションはどのようにありますか？たくさん話されてくれますか？
コミュニティマネージャー、代表、確か言ってますけどね、日本だと、私がタウンホールミーティングの放送を、やっていいかどうか、聞いた時の担当してくれたのはエクスクロムさんって方ですね。この方が一応は、コミュニティの部門をやってはるみたいですね。で、気軽にこういったお話ができるかどうかという、あれですけど、それはあまりできないですね。メールでやり取りするような感じになると思います。その理由としては、日本のね、プレイヤーのコミュニティたくさんありますから、いちいち、EA ジャパンの担当の人が個別に答えてたら多分仕事できないと思うんで、それが原因であまり気軽には話せるような環境にはなってませんけど、メールである程度のやり取りはできますね。
なんか言いたい質問は多分、ちょっと待って。言いたい質問は多分、アメリカの本当の開発者とのコミュニケーションはなかなかできないということで、日本では、EA ジャパンでも、例えば何か文句とかバグのことがあったら、話せば何かまた話が返ってきますかというような質問だと思います。
日本の方では質問受け付けるだけですね。あとはアメリカの方流すんで、だから特に直接返ってくるということはあまりないと思います。
はい、そうですね。So basically he's saying that regarding the community manager, when he was asking permission for doing the Tokyo Town Hall broadcast, he talked to a guy called Xchrome. And in fact, if you've been paying attention to the candles and stuff, then you probably have heard that name before, because there is indeed an Xchrome candle. So we're not sure if he's the community manager or I don't know exactly what position he has, but he is available to talk to in Japan. Regarding the EA Japan's interactions with the community, basically EA Japan all they do is they take the community's opinions and they pass them on to the development team. So, I mean, to be honest, it doesn't really matter if they talk back to the Japanese community or not, because they don't really have any of the answers. So all they really do is they pass stuff on to the development team. So we don't have any talk with the American development team, of course. But regarding EA Japan, they seem to be pretty useful.
Okay, so they are very helpful whenever a major issue comes up. They actually, for example, whenever the Americans create a very hot topic or something like that, every now and then the American community manager, Binky or Wilkie, will come in and make a comment. I'm kind of curious as whether or not the Japanese community manager does something similar to that. And was the Japanese community manager at the Tokyo Yo Town Hall meeting?
Okay, I'll just ask that. 次の質問は同じ問題で、例えばアメリカでは大きな問題があれば、ウィルキーかビンキーのアメリカのコミュニティマネージャーが何か、例えば UOSS で何か書き込みしてみんなに何か報告というか答えが来ますが、 日本の方はそういうことはありますか？そしてそのEA ジャパンの代表は東京タウンホールミーティングにいましたよね。
はい、代表の方、正田さんって方がいらっしゃいました。あと、大きな問題があった場合の書き込みですけど、そういったのは日本の方では、全くありません。それと、日本の方では開発してないので、多分そういう回答できないんでしょうね。
そうでしょうね。So basically he says there's no reply. So I'm sure the reason is because they really can't reply. They've got nothing to reply with. The other thing he said that there was indeed a representative at the a representative of EA Japan at the Tokyo Town Hall. In fact, it was the guy who was doing the translations who is kind of you could say he's kind of my idol when it comes to translating because he did such a good job. So much better than I'm doing tonight, but
yeah. So if you don't mind me asking, who was the representative that represented EA Japan from the Tokyo Yolo Town Hall meeting, if there was, and does he even know why the community manager, whoever you said his name was not present, or was he present at the Yolo Town Hall meeting?
Well, the guy who was doing the translating was called Mr. Shoda, and I can't remember what his official title is. I should know this, but I can't remember, I'm afraid. I can check.
Somebody said he was vice president. Is that true?
He's vice something. I remember that much.
Okay. Well, ask him if the community manager or the person that's on the Japanese Yo community forums, if he's, the same guy that was at the Yo Town Hall meeting. And if not, why is the Japanese community manager on the Japanese forums not the same guy at the Yo Town Hall meeting representing the EA Japan?
今聞いたのはちょっと混乱してるんですけど、日本の公式掲示板がありますね。そこでEAジャパンのコミュニティの人が書き込んでいるかな。それはちょっと私はよくわかりませんが、その人が東京タウンホールミーティングにいなかったと今バイスロイが聞きました。そしていなかったらなんでそのコミュニティマネージャーがそこに行かなかったかなというふうにちょっと変な質問でしたが。
多分、タウンホールミーティングには来てたと思うんですよね。EA ジャパンの中の組織がどうなってるかっていうのは公表されてないので、みんな知らないんですよ。日本のプレイヤーは。それと日本公式ホームページの掲示板は誰も今は使ってないです。書き込みがないですね。原因を語るのはちょっと難しいですけど、日本ではちょっと特殊で、各個人のプレイヤーやったらあれですけど、個人のホームページの掲示板の方が賑やかで、そこにみんな、クレームとかこんなバグ見つけたとか書き込んでて、そういうのがたくさんあるんですよ。で、それを統括しているところとかが全くないので、そうですね、UOSS みたいなものが日本にはないですね。ないので、ということです。はい。
So basically he's saying, first point is, the makeup of EA Japan is not really something that the players know a lot about. So to be honest, we don't really know the answer to your question. And the second thing is, I said that there was an official message board on the UO Japan site, but actually forces that no one really uses that site. And in fact, the Japanese message board system is kind of a bit different from the system that most English speakers use. We tend to use a very graphical message board system, and it sort of looks very organized and stuff. And you can easily see the difference between each poster. But the Japanese message board system is usually a very, very simple text-only based thing where you have just people talking, and it's not so obvious who's talking. You just get a lot of people talking. And there's no, the most important thing that he said is, there's no Japanese equivalent of Stratix. There's no one place where everyone posts. It's a lot of different places.
Ah, very unusual. And does he have any idea as to why that might be the case, as to where there's not a unified location?
それはどうして UOSS みたいな一つだけの場所がないかな。
なんだろうな。まずですね、公式サイトが使われない理由として一つ挙げられるのが、メールアドレスとか何かで登録しないといけないんですよけど、日本人はあまりそういうのが好きじゃない、全く登録なしで気軽に書き込める、掲示板がみんな好きなので、それでまず公式サイトはあまり使われてないのが一つですね。それ以外、なぜ OSS みたいなサイトがないのかということなんですが、これはどうだろう、ちょっと簡単にないですけどね、なんていうかな、何箇所かはそういう拠点になってるサイトはあるんですけど、たくさんの人がそういうのを作ってるので、それをまとめるような、サイト、人がいないと言ったらいいんですかね。ちょっとソーフィンさん、これちゃんと答えれないですね、私も。ごめんなさい。
そうですね、その答えにはすごく困りますね。So basically what he's saying is there's not really any one reason why there isn't a UO version of Stratix, but the simple thing to say would be there's no one has taken the taken the responsibility to be the one site which links everyone together. And the other thing is that in the Japanese internet community, the reason people don't use the official site so much is that you have to register using your email address and stuff to get onto that site. And among the Japanese internet community, not just for UO but for a lot of different things, a lot of people don't like having to register to do things. So the sites that are being used at the moment, you can just go in there and you don't even have to write your own name. Often your IP will not be listed. Often it will be, but often it won't be. And it's much, much more of an anonymous type system.
Very different, because we, we like to identify or put a name with the, a post or something like that. We don't have an anonymous system, as you can very well tell. I'm curious if he's got any other questions for us.
Yes, absolutely. Actually, that makes things very difficult for me to get used to the Japanese message board system, because I can't see what's going on half as easily as I can with the English system. フォーさん、何か質問がありますか？
ですね、ちょっと思い出したんですけど、今の話ですね。昔ね、まだウルティマが日本で始まった頃は、それに近いような、スタティクスに近いようなホームページあったんですけど、そこの管理者の方がウルティマ辞めて、そのホームページがなくなったりするんですけど、そのなくなった後に、その後を継ごうと別のサイトが一つ二つできたりするわけですが、それの繰り返しでどんどんいろんなサイトが増えていったって言ったらわかりやすいですかね。それでウオスタティクスみたいな感じのサイトが日本にはないと。
なるほどですね。パラリシャンというのは、そこには BBS はないですか？
パラリシャンにはあるんですけど、ちょっと普通の BBS とは違いますね。なんかカテゴリーあると決められてたりして、自由度がちょっと少ないといった感じでしょうか。
じゃあ人気がないのかな？
人気はね、あるんですけど、ブリタニア観光案内所以前ありましたが、そのような雰囲気の BBS ではないんですよ。で、どちらかというと、日本では、 2チャンネルって言ったら向こうわからないでしょうけど、ああいった感じの掲示板とか、ブリタニア観光案内所のような掲示板の方が好まれるようなので、それでまあ、パラリーシャンの方は、今はもう他変わるものがほとんどありませんから結構、みんな見てますけど、そんな感じですかね。
そうですね。Okay, so I think what he's saying is, back when UO started up in Japan, there was a version of StratX, and the guy who was running it eventually quit, and when he quit, his site disappeared, and like two guys made up new sites, so the audience got split, the player audience got split between them, and then that happened again and again and again, so it brought us to this extremely fractured state that we're in now. There is actually a Japanese version of, well, I mean, sort of, it's not really a version of StratX, but there's a really good page for UO play guides and stuff called Pararishan in Japan, but they don't really have an all-encompassing message board like StratX has for UO.
Ah, okay. Well, just to quickly let you know, Sakarrah has to leave, so I'm going to go ahead and let her say goodbye to everybody out there, and goodbye to you guys as well. So go ahead, Sakarrah.
Alrighty, I'm really sorry I have to go, but I have other engagements, and I wanted to thank both Turin and for joining us today. It was great having you guys. It was great to hear about, some of the stuff that's going on your own shards and your views on certain things. So it was great having you, and I'm really hoping. I'm actually going to take you on that offer. I definitely want to see that house. So just let me know whenever you have time to give me the tour. I will love to go see it. And to everyone else listening, thanks for joining us. And don't forget, tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, we have an interview with a Siege Perilous Guild, the Delucia Trade Association. It should be really interesting for all you guys that ever that wondered anything about what's life like on Siege Perilous. It's going to be your chance to find out more about it. So thanks again, everybody. Goodbye, Turin. Goodbye, For. And thanks for being with us.
Okay, I'll just translate what you said. Sakarrah からの、さよならという感じで、今、フォーさんの招待をぜひそのメイロの家を見に行きたいと言ってました。そして私たちにもなんかご参加しててありがとうございましたというふうに言ってました。
こちらこそありがとうございます。いや、ミスタータクトと、インタビュー、坂さんされてましたけど、私英語できないので、ちょっとぐらいね、リスニングできるように、その録音を聞いていつも練習してるんで、坂さんの声結構好きなんですけどね。また、そうですね、日本のチャートで何個か家ピックアップしておきますので、一緒に回りましょうというふうにお伝えください。
So, Sakarrah, For just saying that actually he's heard the Mr. Tact interview that you did, and he's kind of been trying to use it to study English, but he without a great deal of success, he said, and he really likes your voice, so he'd love for you to come and see that May's house sometime when you can.
Thank you.
All right. Well, with that said, we wish you well, Sakarrah, and goodbye.
Goodbye. And yes, I will take him on that offer. So I don't know. I guess Viceroy can give you guys my coordinates, and we can make arrangements for that visit. Goodbye, everybody.
Exactly. Yeah, I can do that. Goodbye. All right. Next question here and everything, and Kickin. Get off that key. Just joking. Let's see. Any other questions for us here, For?
Okay. For, あと何か質問ありますか？時間大丈夫ですか？
今回はこんなもんですかね。また、何回か、こんな感じでトークショーやればいいと思うので、で、そんな感じですかね。私もちょっとした仕事そろそろ行かないといけないんで、はい。
So he's just saying that he doesn't really have any other questions right now, and in fact he has to go to work quite soon. So this would be a good place, kind of, for us to stop. Well, for her, and the other thing he's saying is that he'd love to have this kind of interview again, like every now and then. That would be great.
Yeah, most definitely. I'm actually kind of glad that we had this little talk show and everything to discuss the differences between the Japanese community and the American and European community. And so, yes, I would very much like to take him up on his offer to maybe have another talk show or another show like this too, where we can have more communication between the Japanese and the American and European communities, as I think this would be a great learning tool to basically bridge the gap in the differences and have a better understanding of each community. I think that's a great thing. Yeah, and I think it is about time to pretty much bring it to a close. So with that said, I want to go ahead and give every DJ, well, first of all, go ahead and translate that if you could, please.
Okay. 今言ったのは、日本のコミュニティとアメリカのコミュニティとのなんか、話し合いができてとても嬉しかった。そしてやっぱりフォーさんが言った通りにまた何回かいつでも何かまたやればいいですねという感じに言いました。という感じに言いました。すいません。
はい、わかりました。ありがとうございます。次回やるときはもう少しコミュニティ詳しい方連れてきます。私があまりコミュニティ、日本のコミュニティ、そう詳しくはないのでね。また次回やるときはちょっと誰か連れてきたいと思いますので、よろしくお願いしますとお伝えください。
So he's just saying that next time maybe we can bring another guest or two and we'll have more people who can answer your questions because Four says that he's not terribly knowledgeable about all aspects of the Japanese community, of course. So it would be good if we could take someone else who could answer your questions, some of your other questions too.
Sure, maybe we can have it on your radio show, and for a change, and maybe have it the other way around, where instead of us asking all the questions, we can maybe have the Japanese community asking all the questions or something like along those lines.
Yeah, I'm sure that would be great. 今言ったのは逆にバイスロイとかサカラもアメリカの DJ も私たちのラマヤラジオの方にも来ればいろいろ日本のコミュニティから質問聞かれてそれも楽しそうなんか良さそうですね。いいことになりますね。
そうですね。はい。じゃあまたやりましょう。はい。
Yes, so he says, let's do it again. And thank you very much.
No problem. So with that said and everything, I'm going to go ahead and close this up and give everybody a closing comment, to that way everybody knows who's who and can put a name with the voice and everything. And so with that said, I am DJ Viceroy from Chesapeake, and then of course we had Sakarrah from Atlantic, who just recently left the room and everything. And of course we have DJ Kickin, who's from Chesapeake as well. So go ahead, Kickin, give us your closing comment.
Not much of comment, just wanted to thank our guests for joining us. It's nice to have people from overseas actually tuning in. I am DJ Kickin. I play on Chesapeake and Europa, so I have a little tie-in with both. But thanks for coming, and we hope to have you back soon.
Excellent. And just a quick reminder, please do not forget that we have a talk show with DJ Kickin and DJ Cricket tomorrow for 4 hours. And what time is that from? Is that from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern? Is that right?
That is correct. 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern Time, basically non-fell-based talk show. We talk about everything but fell.
All right. So for all you trammies out there who are tuned in, that's your show right there, And I'll definitely be tuning in if I'm awake around that time, and because I always know I love those shows. It's very entertaining, and also it does educate a player, about a lot of different aspects of the game in which you may not be too familiar with. So with that said, I want to thank you again for joining us, Kickin. And so let's go ahead and go over to Malik, who's from Atlantic. And Malik, do you have any closing comments?
Just that it was great listening to this and being a part of it at points when my throat was letting me. I've been looking forward to this for like all week, so thanks for coming, and I would look forward to hearing an interview with a guild from one of their shards. That would be great.
Yeah, that definitely would be very interesting to maybe do, and I think they already do that to an extent. But yeah, if we could have a translation into English and all that would probably be very interesting to see how that works out and everything. And so with that said, I want to go ahead and thank Turin and Ford for joining us here on UORadio. And just a little reminder, they are from Lamaya Radio, which is a Japanese internet radio station. I don't think they play internet radio like music or anything like we do. I think they pretty much do talk shows for the most part. And just a quick, also, I want to throw out there that they are planning on doing some shows here on UORadio on I believe Sundays here, early morning Sundays here in the United States time, that is. And so you'll definitely want to check that out. I'm not sure how much of that will be actually in English. I think it will be all Japanese for the most part. So, if you're Japanese or anything, you'll definitely want to tune in for that. And so with that said, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Turin. Turin, do you have any closing comments? And then Four, if he has any closing comments, ask him if he has any.
Okay, well, I would just like to say from my own part, thank you very much for having us. It's been a lot of fun. I've gone through about, 15 or 20 different post-it notes to translate all the stuff that's been come my way tonight. It's been a very interesting experience for me, and I hope that you've all been able to understand my sometimes very much ad-lib translations. But it's been great fun to be on the radio show. Thanks.そう、4からのコメントはありますか？最後のコメント。
そうですね。日本の方では23名の方が、早朝にも、朝にもかかわらずお聞きいただいてるんですけど、最後まで聞いていただいてありがとうございました。ということですね。またこういった放送をやりたいと思いますので、バイスロイも含めて、皆さんよろしくお願いいたします。
So, Ford says that, thank you to all the people who've listened this far, especially the Japanese people who it's now 8:41 in the morning, and thank you to everyone, especially Viceroy, for having us on the show.
And thank you. And so with that said, that concludes this afternoon's talk show, and thank you, and I hope you all come and join us next week. Thank you.